What does fire control do? Well, probably easier to ask what we don't do. We pretty much get involved in most areas of the service. Um, our main role is obviously to be the first point of contact for the public in an emergency. So when someone dials 999, if they're in Dorset and Wiltshire and they ask for the fire service, they will then be put through by the BT operator to one of us in here. We'll then deal with their emergency, mobilise an appropriate response. When we come on duty, we have a handover from the previous watch, so we know what incidents are going on. 7 of us on watch. Generally, you've got 2 people perhaps on leave, so normally you'll have about 4 or 5 actually in the control room at one time. Each person has their designated role. So you've got the watch manager and a crew manager who are in charge of overseeing the room. And then you've got somebody whose day will be to take the first fire calls. So basically, that's the job I'm in today. If a 999 call comes in, I answer it. I'm the first port of call for that. If we get more than one at a time, it would then be answered by my colleague. The watch manager or crew manager will also be listening in and supervising so that they know what I'm saying and they get an idea of what incident's happening. We also have somebody sitting on radio as well, so their job today will be to sit on radio and do the radio communications with the crews when they're out and about. So they're the standard tasks that you have. You've also got different administration tasks. So we have officers in the service that are flexi duty officers. So for certain incident types, we will have to send officers, so maybe fire investigation. So we need to know where they are. Are they across both counties? Because there's no point having all of your officers in one place. They need to be spread out. So we need to make sure that we've got good coverage of that. So that's another task. And then there's all sorts of things that come in through the day. So when people are having bonfires, they'll ring us up and tell us so that we can log it. So lots of little administration bits that you don't see and people don't know about, and it's quite common for people to say, oh, I didn't realise that was part of your job. So yeah, there's always stuff going on. Probably the teamwork aspect. It's good to be working with a good bunch of people. You feel involved in things. The reason I took this job was I wanted to move into an area where it was more teamwork. I enjoy helping the public. I enjoy getting involved in things. There's lots of areas that you can get involved in the service. It's nice to know what's going on as well, because when you have an incident, control are always the first people to know about it. Although every day you've got routines to do and different tasks that you have to get accomplished, you also don't know what else is going to be happening. So I enjoy that aspect. It's nice to work in a service that's got structure and policies, procedures, conditions, etc. So yeah, all round it's a very interesting place to work. We're a bit different to our sort of other blue light colleagues. So whereas if you're police or ambulance, you know that Friday, Saturday nights are going to be busy. For us, with the exception of things like bonfire night and New Year's Eve, that type of thing, there isn't really a pattern of when things are busy, except, obviously during the summer we tend to have heath fires, fires on the beach, barbecues, that type of thing. You know that that's likely to be happening, but you could have a rainy Sunday could be the busiest one of the year. You just don't know. If it was all hands on deck all the time, you would never be able to achieve anything else. So if it's a job like Wareham Forest, or if you've got any big incident like a heath fire, anything like that, then it's all hands on deck, because particularly for heath fires, they happen in areas where there's a lot of people, especially holiday makers. So you're getting a lot of calls. So then it is all hands on deck, because it's one after the other, and it's very involved. Probably the thing that I find most rewarding is being able to help people who don't think that we can help them. So quite often you'll get contacted by people who say, oh, I don't think this is an emergency, but, and then they'll tell you something and you think, no, that is an emergency and yes, we can help you. And they're almost apologetic for asking. And I find that really rewarding, that we're someone's absolute last port of call sometimes because they don't want to bother us. And we're able to say, no, we can come and help. So we have to keep up with training. There's quite a bit of administration, so sending through referrals for different bits and pieces, all sorts of things that you kind of don't think we would get involved in. You need to be able to listen. There's no point being able to sort of just talk all the time and not be hearing what a caller is saying to you, because they could be telling you all sorts of things that is relevant. So you need to be able to listen whilst also doing. Empathy, being able to work in a team, that's probably the most important thing, because it isn't just our team in the control room or our watch in the control room, it's all the watches in the control room and all our colleagues across the fire service. So being able to interact with people and work as a team, that's probably the most important. Being resilient is useful. You know, this job can be hard sometimes, so it's important to have some level of resilience. But again, you know, that's something that comes out as you do the job. So yeah, just being generally all-round people person, I think, is probably important.